Good morning and welcome. You're with us on Market Opening on the Business Today show. Let's take you through all the top news this morning as we head into the first few minutes of trade. Silver steadies on COMEX after the biggest one-day fall in more than 5 years. Holds above $72, down from over $82 yesterday. Gold also steady after its biggest drop in 2 months. Platinum and palladium see a small rise after plunging yesterday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to meet economists and sectoral experts at the Niti Aayog today. The meeting will discuss the upcoming budget, economic reforms and other challenges. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman to also participate in this pre-budget consultation. The meeting comes even as the industrial output in November grows at its fastest pace in 25 months. The index of industrial production jumped 6.7%, boosted by a spike in manufacturing and a pickup in consumer goods. 3 of the 6 categories, including infra and construction, clocked double-digit growth. Weeks after the biggest disruptions ever in its services, Indigo extends an olive branch to pilots, introduces new allowances and raises some existing ones. The move comes even as the airline loses 200 basis points market share in November and rating agencies warn of significant financial damage. US stocks end in the red. Tech sector struggles with back-to-back losses on the S&P 500. Asia Pacific mostly also losing this morning, and GIFT Nifty showing a flat to negative start for Indian markets ahead of year-end. All right, let's take a look at the overnight action as we count down to opening trade in just a few minutes now. Remember, we're in the last week, last few days of the year, and precious metals extremely volatile. Tech also playing spoil sport this morning. S&P 500, Nasdaq, Dow, all in the red. Let's look at the action in Asia this morning as well, and you'll see that trend pretty much continuing. We've also been, of course, seeing the trade deal hanging in the balance, the ongoing talks when it comes to Russia, Ukraine, what it means for oil, and of course the latest news around RIL as well, which we'll track for you in a moment. Nvidia, Amazon, Tesla, everything in the red last night. And when it comes to gold and silver, which have been skyrocketing, we did see some amount of a tumble coming in, even though they're still holding on, of course, to some of those higher levels. Silver at 73 and gold just a touch in the red this morning. The Nifty 50 indicating a flat start so far. We're joined by Shailendra Bhatnagar, Chief Analyst and Editor Markets, as well as Amrish Baliga, expert in the markets this morning. Gentlemen, good to have you with us. Shail, do you want to take a look at the setup first this Tuesday?
A very good morning to you, Aabha. Only 3 people are working in the market. That's Amrish, you and me. There is absolutely no volume anywhere. And people are enjoying Christmas holidays, looking forward to the new year. You have breakdowns, mild breakdowns everywhere. And there is absolutely no volume to speak of. We should have had a day off enjoying the Delhi's winter, but not at all. So metals, PSU banks and energy space looks good. Nifty, Bank Nifty are showing signs of a time correction, and that's how it is, Aabha.
All right. Amrish, good morning. Talking about some shocks to the system, the volatility on precious metals. Amrish is also smiling. He said, I don't know how you got me on Zoom this morning, but this time of year is always a little quiet. Maybe a way to use the time to perhaps rethink, re-strategize ahead of the new year. Right, Amrish?
Absolutely, Aabha. And see, I'm contrarian at heart. Whenever I choose a stock, it's a contrarian buy normally. So even from a vacation point of view, I'm a contrarian. But when I go for a vacation, I work. And when most of the spots are empty, people are busy with their work, that's the time I take a vacation.
It's a great idea. It's a great idea.
Yeah, like if we just repeat the question again.
So, let's talk about precious metals first, because that's where all the action is. Not only did we see those record highs on silver, now we're seeing a bit of a tumble across both silver and gold just in the last few days of the year.
Yeah, see, precious metals, this sort of a rally is rarely seen. And whenever we see this sort of a rally, normally there's a decent crack post the rally. I mean, especially silver. I mean, we have seen such rallies. If you're talking of the last 30, 40 years, we have seen this sort of a rally twice. And both the times we have seen a very decent crack. I think in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s, we have seen a crack of about 90% after a huge rally. A bit later than that, I think we have seen a 75% crack after a huge rally. So it is quite natural that anything which goes up like this, irrespective of the industrial demand, which possibly has risen because of EVs and I mean all the electronic components which require silver. But still, it's difficult to digest a 180% sort of a rally in like just a very short time. I mean, if you're talking of a year, it's a very short time when you're talking of precious metals. I mean, this sort of a rally is difficult to digest. So when the rally is there, utilize it. I mean, especially for traders. But then at some point of time, I think you need to keep your greed behind and look at booking profits. And possibly this could be a time to book profits, despite, I mean, we have seen a decent fall. I think it's close to a 10% sort of a fall which we have seen in a day. But utilize this sort of a move to book some profits.
Okay, that's where we have gold and silver right now at this point of time. Just taking a live check for you and on your screens, 1,35,000 on MCX gold and 2,32,000 on MCX silver. Look at the kind of gains that we're continuing to see across both those precious metals. I also want to talk about Reliance this morning, Amrish, because they've come out with a clarification on that $30 billion claim, saying that that it's actually inappropriate and irresponsible, and that the actual amount of the claim, I'm just trying to pull up the exact number, is $247 million. So saying that the matter is sub judice, disputes report that has been filed on the gas field compensation demand coming in from the government, from Reliance and BP, saying that it's completely inappropriate and irresponsible. Just want to get a quick view on Reliance from you in light of this news.
See, this was a huge controversy, I think about 12 to 15 years back, and then somehow it died down. And now it has come up again, and I think the claim is huge. And since it's from the government, I think the issue will continue for much longer, irrespective of whatever clarification Reliance has given. I think this will be an overhang for the stock, at least for a while.
Okay, so continued overhang expected there on RIL. We're just counting down to opening. Keep an eye on RIL. Keep an eye on Titan, and we'll talk more about that in a few minutes. Keep an eye on some of those textile counters and trade-related counters as well. Continued focus there. IT will take a stock and see if it's reacting in line with the global trend. And opening kicks for you on your screen there. Just a marginal downtake. We've been struggling around that 26,000 mark and continuing to really hover there. 25,908 is where we're at on the Nifty this morning. Pull up the Nifty Bank for you, just a marginal downtick coming in there as well. And let's pull up some of the other gainers and losers for you. IT also seeing a marginal red downtick on the back of overnight action. Metals not participating today, so no clear signal coming in from there either. On the top of the charts, Shriram Finance continuing its gains. Hindalco looking decent, continuing there as well. BEL up about 0.5%, continued order wins. Sun Pharma, Tata Consumer, Nestle pulling up the rest of that list. So interesting to see some of those consumer staples there. But a whole lot of names on the downside: Auto, Metals, L&T, Aisha, Zomato or Eternal. We've got a whole host of names that are actually seeing a little bit of a pressure today, down about 1% or so. Profit booking is really what it looks like, if you ask me. Correction just chopping off a little bit of the build-up on the top at this point of time. Shell, opening ticks?
Well, Aabha, people are on a holiday. It's visible on the screen. The advanced decline is flat, 1:1. 800 stocks have traded in the green, 800 in the red. So nothing happening there. All 19 indices are in the red. So mild profit booking happening across the board. And this is symptomatic of a time correction that is taking place in the markets. Today is also the monthly expiry of the Nifty. So you would expect some kind of...
Okay. We'll come back to share in a moment, but also I think the excitement continues on the precious metals and the bull run that we've seen there. Let's pull up the screens for you and continuing to see gains coming in. MCX silver soaring by 9,000 rupees now, hitting 2.3 lakhs. That's the big number for you on your screen. And MCX gold rising 900 rupees, reaching 1.36 lakhs. So despite the recent volatility, we're continuing to see gains on the precious metals and continuing to top those extremely overstretched levels now on the precious metals. 2.3 lakhs for MCX silver and 1.3 for gold. Continued gains this morning. Amrish, I also want to take a look at Titan, and that's also clearly one to benefit from the gold play. A lot of news coming in on that one. We've got some overweight calls as well. They've launched a Tanishq Diamond Expertise Center, first store in Bombay. Gradual launch now across the store network of this initiative. So that's the news really. But Titan has been trending at record levels, continued strength there. What's your view on Titan?
See, the new vertical they're talking about, the artificial diamonds. I think, most of the millennials look at artificial diamonds as compared to the natural diamonds. So I think this is the right move which Titan has made. And at the same time, as far as their eyewear business is concerned, I think that will also get better valuations because thanks to Lenskart, the sort of valuations they've got. And the third thing clearly is on gold. Because most of these companies would be, seeing sort of a better valuation, basically because of the valuation of the inventory which they have. Normally, most of them have decent amount of inventory, so the inventory, the price has moved up, and I think that should show on the balance sheet. But at the same time, because of the sort of a run which we have seen in bullion, we could see that their volumes would come down because clearly at these levels, it becomes unaffordable for a lot of people. So unless it's a must, like for example, if it's a wedding or something else, otherwise people have slowed down as far as buying is concerned, as far as jewelries are concerned. So I think Titan overall is positive, no doubt. But then I don't see a huge run up from here because we've already seen a decent sort of a move.
All right. Some amount of attention also shifting to some of the, let's say, textile counters, for example, on macro developments such as tariff normalization, progress of FTAs, for instance, looking into falling US imports in the near term, as perhaps cyclical. So we have names like Indocown, Wellspun that are in focus. And of course, the entire sector will be watching out for what comes out in the new year. Would you be also tracking the developments here, Amrish, or just staying away altogether in light of the continued uncertainty?
No, we are still hopeful that we'll have the US-India trade treaty because it was supposed to come in November. Then we said December, it's still not come. And now people are talking about possibly end of February, early March. So we are still hopeful. And the sectors which were badly affected because of the tariffs, I think would be the ones which will gain the most once the deal is through. And one of those major major sectors clearly is textiles, which really got hit badly. So that should be one which should be looked at least for 2026, because I'm still hopeful that this deal should go through.
All right, so still positive there. All right, the Prime Minister is going to be holding a crucial meeting with top economists and experts at Niti Aayog today. The meeting is part of the government's pre-budget consultation exercise ahead of the budget in February. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will also be present, and the discussions are expected to center on growth, reforms, and India's macroeconomic outlook. The Prime Minister is likely to listen to suggestions, including ideas to bolster growth, fiscal management, and long-term development priorities. This high-level interaction is part of the government's regular strategy to gather broad-based inputs before finalizing key economic policy decisions. Let's go across to Surbhi on this for more. Surbhi, just counting down to, I think, 2 months to budget now, or 1 month actually. Give us a sense of really what will be prioritized with regards to the agenda. I know a lot of consultations and reviews are going to take place at Niti Aayog, as part of this meeting. But any indication you have of what could be the key priority areas this time around?
Yes, so the budget is just 1 month away now on February 1. And while most of the tax-related issues have already been sorted out by the government, including income tax and GST, the focus we expect is going to be more on ease of doing business, deregulation, and building domestic capacities and resilience, or Atmanirbharta, as the government likes to call it. Because while this year we've had a kind of a Goldilocks moment with, growth being higher than anticipated and inflation being low, there's still concerns about what happens next fiscal, because external
Sure.
challenges are going to continue, and whether it's, China related export import issues, or US tariffs, where we are still not clear what is happening. So there is a clear need to build up on the economy, and that's what the prime minister is likely going to discuss with economists today.
All right, great. We'll keep track of that, Surbhi, and come back to you for more on that as the day progresses. Let's take a look at some of those gainers in opening trade. We've got Lloyd's Engineering moving on the account of an approval of a merger of Lloyd's Infra, Metal Fab and Techno Industries with the company. So that's on Lloyd's Engineering. We've also got Hind Copper moving, and I think that's also up about 3% today. So quick check on that one as well. Continued action, of course, building across some of these metal counters. And I just want to take a look at some of the macro data coming in, since we're now tracking budget expectations. And the latest figures, Amrish, have been really positive in terms of the kind of production and expansion we're seeing across macro data coming in just yesterday. I want to get your view on that. Is this really like a good sign in terms of structurally what we might also see and kind of lead to a breakout or untapped potential across, that part of the market in the new year?
Absolutely. And see, we are seeing these macros despite the sort of US tariffs, which we have now seen for more than 6 months now. So I think this is extremely positive. And I would say, whatever happened on the US tariffs clearly is a blessing in disguise, because India clearly was quite comfortable with the sort of US exports, which we have seen in the last so many years increasing. But then this came as a jolt, no doubt. And then we are, like in the last 6 months, we have seen that most of the exporters are looking at other geographies to export. And I think that's a very positive development. So like we are discussing about the India-US treaty, if that happens, that clearly will be a bonus, no doubt, and that will be a major booster. At the same time, the sort of macros which we are seeing clearly points to the fact that India will continue to grow, and it will be one of those few economies which will grow at that 7.5-8%. Also, if you're talking of the Q3 numbers, I expect them to be as good or better than Q2, because most of the GST's benefits will trickle down in the Q3 numbers. So I think there are a decent number of triggers lined up for the markets, including the budget now. We normally have some sort of a pre-budget rally based on expectations. So overall, at least in the first quarter of 2026, I'm decently positive on the market. Because if you see the whole of 2025, although the Nifty has gone up 10%, most of the portfolios are bleeding, because most of them have, most of the individual portfolios, I would say, are bleeding because most of them have those small and mid caps. I think that's where we'll see the action in the first quarter of 2026.
All right, so a lot of scope for action there, and the broader markets is really the view coming in from Amrish. Remember, industrial production's at a 2-year high, recording a 6.7% growth in November, fueled by mining and manufacturing. That's where the gains have been coming in from. Amrish, when you're talking about the broader markets, then any specific picks or any specific themes that we should be keeping our eye on?
A couple of themes I'm still looking at is the infra play. And in infra play, I would clearly look at some of the cement stocks, although there will be a sort of a major merger as far as ACC and Abuja is concerned. I think the action would be in some of the smaller cement players, which possibly are those targets for the larger players to buy out. And one of them would be Nuvoco Vistas, which is a Nirma Group company, the 5th largest cement company, increasing the capacity from 25 million tons to 35 million tons over the next 2 years. So this is one stock which has corrected decently well in the last 6 months. I think we could see a decent move to levels of about 480 or so. So this clearly is one of those stocks which I've been recommending. And again, I'm still positive on the specialty chemicals play. So, there we have picks like Deepak Nitrite, where I have an initial target of about closer to 2,000, a long-term target of about 2,300, 400.
All right, Amrish, thanks so much for joining us this morning. Always great to get your views and also those specific picks. Have a great holiday week. And we take a break at this point of time. Do stay tuned. Lots more news and updates coming up. And we'll be back for market closing at 3 p.m. From overnight global cues to live Dalal Street moves, we decode what matters for your money today. From stocks to sectors to the top business news, we've got your morning game plan covered. Watch me, Aabha Bakaya, as I bring you the opening bell action Monday to Fridays, 9:05 a.m. only on India Today.
From how the markets move today to what's setting the stage for tomorrow. From tariffs to taxes, mutual funds to your daily stock queries. Join me as I decode the biggest wealth-creating ideas for you at the closing bell. Watch me as I bring to you the Business Today show every weekday at 3 p.m. only on India Today.
From overnight global cues to live Dalal Street moves, we decode what matters for your money today. From stocks to sectors to the top business news, we've got your morning game plan covered. Watch me, Aabha Bakaya, as I bring you the opening bell action Monday to Fridays, 9:05 a.m. only on India Today.
From how the markets move today to what's setting the stage for tomorrow. From tariffs to taxes, mutual funds to your daily stock queries. Join me as I decode the biggest wealth-creating ideas for you at the closing bell. Watch me as I bring to you the Business Today show every weekday at 3 p.m. only on India Today.
From overnight global cues to live Dalal Street moves, we decode what matters for your money today. From stocks to sectors to the top business news, we've got your morning game plan covered. Watch me, Aabha Bakaya, as I bring you the opening bell action Monday to Fridays, 9:05 a.m. only on India Today.
From how the markets move today to what's setting the stage for tomorrow. From tariffs to taxes, mutual funds to your daily stock queries. Join me as I decode the biggest wealth-creating ideas for you at the closing bell. Watch me as I bring to you the Business Today show every weekday at 3 p.m. only on India Today.
From overnight global cues to live Dalal Street moves, we decode what matters for your money today. From stocks to sectors to the top business news, we've got your morning game plan covered. Watch me, Aabha Bakaya, as I bring you the opening bell action Monday to Fridays, 9:05 a.m. only on India Today.
From how the markets move today to what's setting the stage for tomorrow. From tariffs to taxes, mutual funds to your daily stock queries. Join me as I decode the biggest wealth-creating ideas for you at the closing bell. Watch me as I bring to you the Business Today show every weekday at 3 p.m. only on India Today.
From overnight global cues to live Dalal Street moves, we decode what matters for your money today. From stocks to sectors to the top business news, we've got your morning game plan covered. Watch me, Aabha Bakaya, as I bring you the opening bell action Monday to Fridays, 9:05 a.m. only on India Today.
From how the markets move today to what's setting the stage for tomorrow. From tariffs to taxes, mutual funds to your daily stock queries. Join me as I decode the biggest wealth creating ideas for you at the closing bell. Watch me as I bring to you the Business Today show every weekday at 3 p.m. only on India Today.
From overnight global cues to live Dalal Street moves, we decode what matters for your money today. From stocks to sectors to the top business news, we've got your morning game plan covered. Watch me, Aabha Bakaya, as I bring you the opening bell action Monday to Fridays, 9:05 a.m. only on India Today. All right, let's take a look at the markets. Very, very quiet this morning. Really no action that's coming in so far. Let's take a look at some of the movers and losers. We've got Hindustan Copper, Hindalco. Metals as usual, it's all about gold and silver. We've got Arpit Beriwal also joining us this morning. Arpit, good to have you with us. Let's take a look at some of those metal names first. All the action's purely there while everyone else is on holiday. What are you making of the trend and what's standing out to you?
Very good morning. As we are heading to a new year, and definitely you have seen very thin volumes in the last couple of days. But if you look at the overall market sector wise, so definitely we have seen some cool off in the indices from Nifty and Bank Nifty. Now, if you look at the particular metal index, so metal has been the top of the down from last couple of weeks, and definitely yesterday was the first sign of some profit booking from the higher levels. So if we look at the setup wise, the monthly setup is very strong. However, from the last few days, we have seen a good rally from almost 10,000 to 10,800. So definitely some pullback can be seen, but immediate basis 10,000, 10,200 would be a key level to watch out for. And within that, if you see Vedanta and Hindalco would be our preferred picks. So the stock has rallied really well in last 1 month, but still looking at the monthly setup wise, there is much more room for these counters to head towards 650 for Vedanta to 700, and along with the Hindalco, we can see 4-digit figures soon. So I think within this metal pack, Hindalco and Vedanta would be a preferred picks for next 2 to 3 months time frame. After a steep rally, definitely some cool off can be seen from this higher levels, but overall the bigger trend is still positive, and it would be a buy on dips counter going forward for next couple of months time frame.
Okay, and on the index itself, Arpit, we're slipping below 26,000 once again, 25,900, struggling really to maintain that 26,000 mark. What's the next leg up as you see it?
If you see overall index has really got stuck in a broader range from last almost 6 weeks. If we see last month we were almost near the similar levels on the November series. So talking about the levels wise, 25,750 is the lower band, that is 50 demo. The upside 26,150 is the key hurdle level. And looking at the setup wise, index is likely to consolidate between this band between 25,750 to 26,150 levels. From last 3 to 4 days, it is forming lower as low lows until it doesn't negate the previous day high. A stance would be slightly bearish for the expiry play. Immediate resistance 26,000 is the key level to watch out for. Till it holds below that, a stance would be negative bias for downside move towards 25,800 levels. Along with that, if we talk about Bank Nifty, so Bank Nifty also has been a very subdued from last almost 2 to 3 weeks. Last 3 to 4 sessions, the Bank Nifty has seen some profit booking from 59,500 to 58,800 levels. But overall, look at the setup wise, it has also got stuck in range between 58,500 to 59,500 levels. So a sense that it is likely to consolidate. For Bank Nifty, today's level would be watch out would be 58,950 levels, spot levels. Till it holds below that, some profit booking can be seen towards 58,750, 58,650 as the private banks are underperforming. So overall, a sense that Nifty Bank Nifty is likely to consolidate with mildly negative bias for the expiry play, and stock specific action is likely to continue.
All right, so that is on some of the indices and financials for you as well. What are your top 3 picks for the new year then, Arpit?
If we see this year has been very dull, and if we see very selective sectors are outperformed. So going forward, 2026, if we see overall, we have to build a basket of 3 to 4 sectors where we can see the preferred momentum, and the sectors would be from the financials, auto, metal, and telecom. So first from the financial space would be the mid-cap banks that are looking very strong. So first would be AU Small Finance that are looking very strong on the chart. One of the top pick within private banks would be AU Small. Along with that, second from the banking space would be SBI. So from the financial pack, AU Small Finance, SBI, and Shriram Finance would be a preferred picks that we can go for 2026. Along with that, with the auto space, if you see, our preferred pick would be M&M. So though the market has been sideways, but M&M has been very much resilient near its life high territories. So major support is around 3,400. Slowly, steady stock can head towards 4,000, 4,400 plus. In the autoback, M&M and Aisha would be a preferred pick. And talking about the telecom space, Bharti has been a preferred pick since very long, and still looking at the structure wise, it is very strong, holding above 2,000 levels. So I think this 6 to 8 counters that are there that we have to create as a basket for 2026 to play the upswing going forward. So stick to major to heavyweights and with selective mid caps. I think the sector is likely to outperform going forward.
Okay, a nice bag of stocks there that Arpit has recommended for you. A few other, since you've been talking about auto, is that specifically purely, on the auto story, Arpit, or are you looking at broader discretionary consumption as well?
Purely if we see since the GST rate cut and since August series, if you see auto index, we have seen a very big breakout since then, and slowly the index is consolidating, but the strength is there. Whether it talks about Aisha, whether it talks about TVS Motor, it talks about Ashok Leyland. So I think auto as a sectoral play has been very much strong, and the GST impact has definitely played a big role. Looking at the price action wise, also on the monthly setup, if I look at the chart setup wise, definitely very strong action is seen. Though it is consolidating, but the good part is that it is hovering in its life high territory. So our sense is that going forward also the momentum is likely to be there, and this pocket such as two-wheeler space and the four-wheeler space is likely to outperform going forward. And a couple of counters that we already suggest, Aisha Motors, M&M would be our preferred picks. Along with that, Ashok Leyland from the mid-cap space would be additional thing within the auto space where you can see outperformance going forward for next 3 to 6 months time frame.
All right, let's talk about the banking and financials as well. We've got Shriram Finance, of course, top of the charts. NBFCs have been looking decent as well. PSU Bank still waiting for all that reform buzz. From the banking and financial space, Arpit, what are some of the names that you're focusing on?
Surprisingly, if we see this year, Bank Nifty is up by 15% year to date, whereas Nifty is just up by 9.5-10%. So definitely the financial packs has outperformed. And going forward, as we say that every bull run creates new set of sectors or new set of leaders. So I think from here on also, we have to bifurcate within the three space, from the NBFC space, private banks and the PSU bank. So from the NBFC space, Shriram Finance would be a preferred pick, a top pick from the first NBFC space. A classical monthly breakout above 850, 900 levels. The stock can definitely look good for 1200 plus in next 6 months time frame. Along with the second would be from the similar space would be AB Capital. A very strong range breakout this year. It was given in the 2025 August series above 270 levels, and I think the stock already rallied from 270 to 340. But looking at the structure wise, definitely we can see good move towards 380, 400 positionally. So from the NBFC space, Shriram and AB Capital. From the private PSU banks, SBI would be a preferred pick, the biggest bank from the SBI PSU space. And from the private bank, surprisingly, we have two counters that is from the mid cap space. One would be Fed Bank. That looks very strong on the charts on the monthly setup wise. The stock has rallied from 240 to 220 to 260, but there is still more up towards 280, 300 levels. And second, as we already discussed, would be AU Small Finance. So AU Small also a very classical range breakout on the monthly time frame about 880 levels. Slowly, the stock is heading higher towards life high territories, holding well. So these are the stocks that I have to watch out for within the financial pack for the year 2026.
Okay, that's on the financials. Hindustan Copper is having a field day. I'll just pull that up for you again. And up about 5% now, so that stock's just looking incredibly good. And we've been talking metals with Arpit as well, but that just is where all the continued action is at this point of time. I'll pull up gold and silver for you as well once again, just to show you the kind of gains that we've been continuing to see across the precious metals, and therefore also tracking some of the moves on those related stocks as well. Okay, so that's on gold, silver, and some of the other metal names that are moving this morning. What about, whether or not you choose from the broader markets, Arpit? I mean, a lot of the names you've mentioned are also frontline stocks. What's going to happen to some of those broader market plays? Do you see some amount of value build up coming in there in the new year, or do you continue to feel that there's still some amount of uncertainty, it's best to stay away?
So if you see the overall market outlook, Nifty Bank Nifty at life high territory, mid cap is at life high territory, but it is sluggish, and small cap index is grossly underperforming. So our sense is that going forward also there will be underperformance by the broader market, particularly the small cap index. However, mid cap index, if you see selective pockets are outperforming. So the likes from the mid cap index, we have to focus on the sectors that we discussed. So the sectors that we are holding, looking very strong is from the mid cap space is the metal pack, auto, financials, and selective discretionary. So I think from the metal space also, if you see as we talk about the Hindalco Vedanta within the similar space, due to the sharp rally in the silver price, if we see Hind Copper and Hind Zinc have seen a very strong move. And I think a sense is that from here on also Hind Zinc, Hind Copper, we can see a good rally. From here on also, after a sharp up move, the stock may consolidate, but 8 to 10% rally can be seen from here on also for next 2 to 3 time frame. So from the metal by Hind Zinc and Copper would be a preferred pick. Along with that, mid cap index is likely to be staying in a very range, and our sense is that we have to be very selective within this range to play out. It's better to stick with the large caps for the next couple of months, and once the index stabilizes, then we can jump onto the mid cap and the small cap.
All right, so that's a good strategy coming in from Arpit in terms of how to maneuver the market possibly at this point of time. 25,933 is where we're landing at on the Nifty. And I think we'll leave it there for now. It doesn't seem like the markets are really in the mood to party much. Maybe we'll see a bit more action on the 31st. Arpit, thanks so much for joining us. Have a good day ahead. And we'll be back with further updates as the day goes along as well. Thanks so much for watching.